So I'm going to sit here like I'm giving you a comedy routine because this is fun. How did it go this week? Or how has it been going, right? We've been at this now. I think you guys have been at it for 3 months, specifically the quick cut, and you're 1 month in. Okay. Cool. So let's do this. What is the biggest struggle you're running into?
I think so. Like for me, the eating the foods that I'm eating is fine. It's not adding in other things because Nora will be like, "Mommy, here's a candy. Like, this is for you," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Sorry."
Yeah.
Or like my mom will make something. She's like, "Try it," and I'm like, "No, I can't because that's just all bread."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like trying to figure out a way to do it, and they're like, "Oh, and you're on a diet." I'm like, actually, I'm not on a diet.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's weird because it's like when I'm unhealthy, people are like, "Oh, you should really start taking care of yourself," and then when you do start taking care of yourself, they're like shaming you for
Yeah.
not partaking, kind of like with the drinking and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, pick a lane, guys.
Pick a lane. Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. I mean, that's a good observation, right? And I think too, remembering that none of what they say or do or think matters to your health, right? So it's just finding that complete separation between this is my body, my health, this is what I'm doing. It doesn't really matter what anybody thinks. I'll tell you with my kids, like when they offer me candy and things like that, mommy doesn't eat that. Thanks though, you know, and I don't think you should eat it either, right? At least with your own kid, right? Maybe not your mom, but your kids. So yeah, but it's tough. It's definitely tough, and it's about to get real tough. Right now, there is a spread of Halloween candy across my kitchen counter because we went trunk or treating last night. Right. Luckily, I've been off sugar for a while, so it's a lot easier for me. But like they know how hard it is for me, and I'm very open with them about how hard it is for me. We have a conversation every year about how hard it is for me to not and to resist the candy, and so we have an agreement that they have what they want while they're with me, and then when they go back to their dads, it all goes in the trash. Right. And sometimes they've asked like, well, can we take it to dad's? And I'm like, no, because I don't want you to eat it either. You know? So, but it's kids are one thing, right? Because you're teaching them the mindset and the adjustment. But like parents and coworkers, right? It's dividing, creating a hard line, like my health, my body, what goes in my mouth has nothing to do with what you think should go in my mouth, right? So, but yeah, it's tough. And it's about to get really tough with the holidays, like for real.
For the holidays, I actually found protein. I should have taken a picture for you guys to look at. I think it's safe. I mean, it does have like added sugars
Mm-hmm.
in this
Protein powder.
supplements too. But it's called Farmer's Protein.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys are on Instagram, but there's like Ballerina Farms is like the farm that like supplies it, and it tastes like you mix it with milk, and it tastes like pumpkin pie.
Oh, okay.
Like literally no distinction except for the fact that it's liquid.
Wow.
Like it's so good, and
Interesting.
it's got colostrum and like protein. It's 24 grams of protein. Like I don't know the grams for colostrum and all that.
Yeah.
But
Interesting. I saw this. I saw this colostrum protein recently. I think it was in Costco or something. Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. I wonder how they continue to get colostrum out of a cow. Because it's only in the beginning, right after giving birth. So yes, but it's a very short time period that you can get colostrum out of a cow. Huh. Anyway, do you know what colostrum is? You do? Oh, okay, great. Um, Colostrum is the first milk that a mother produces after giving birth, and then it turns into regular breast milk or cow's milk or whatever. But it's only that first milk in the very beginning. Yeah. Okay, good. So that biggest struggle, people problems, right? We had that whole talk on people problems, which you weren't in the quick cut yet, but yeah, holding that divide, realizing what they think and their traditions and what their expectations are or not has nothing to do with your health.
For me, it's not that. It's just, perfect example when when Mimi brought me a plate, I was like, oh, that's nice, and it's not like I eat this like this every day, so I had a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Twice a week didn't do it for me.
Yeah, that's okay. So this is really interesting, right?
Yeah,
So we want you to be able to go outside the box sometimes, right? And do life, right? We want you to be able to do that. Now, the more metabolically healthy you are, the safer it is to go outside the box. Because when your body is 100 pounds of lean mass, it can handle outside the box foods easier than it can handle that if it didn't have that much muscle mass. Now, muscle mass is a big deal for being able to handle things like sugar and refined carbohydrates, right? Like breads and pastas and things like that. So, like when Josh eats at Olive Garden, his body just deals with it, right? When I eat at Olive Garden, my body like deals with it, right? But I have 62 pounds of muscle and he has 100 pounds of muscle. So he has his muscle is the thing that helps absorb that glucose out of the bloodstream like really quickly, right? And deal with it really fast. He's got all these engines on his body. I only have a few engines, right? So in the beginning, while we're still correcting your metabolic health, going outside the box is going to be a lot harder for the body to manage. When you are more healthy metabolically, you have more muscle mass, you've got less fat mass, it's going to get easier for the body to deal with. That means you just have to be more on point until you're at that point, you know? But yeah, it sucks.
Well, I noticed that. I mean, you told me this a long time ago, but I mean, even just one bad thing, it is like a domino effect of triggering bad cravings after that until it's like you have to detox all over again.
Yeah.
If it's just one small little treat.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's also the justification that went along with it. I'll just do it this one time. That decision, that thought, I'll just do it this one time. You can then use that same decision and thought for the next time and the next time. And then, and because you've now established a reason why it's okay, right? If you keep the reasons why it's okay at bay, it's just not okay for my body, then it's not okay for your body. But as soon as you go, oh yeah, it's okay. Just this, I haven't had it in a long time. Just this one time. Oh, one bite won't hurt me. It's all the things they say to you, right? It's all the things the people handing it to you say, right? And it is true, right? That's the insidious part about it. One bite is not going to hurt you. It's the ripple effect of having crossed the line and having, violated your own rules for yourself. And but once you get, like I said, once you get metabolically healthy, even that ripple effect becomes less impactful. But makes sense. I get it. Yeah. 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 Good. What else? Any other big struggles or things you're dealing with? No?
Like the changes keep going up and down, not in my favor.
Okay. Like on the scans.
On the scan.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not getting stronger.
In the gym?
Yeah.
When we say stronger, you're talking about like your numbers in the gym?
Yeah, I just don't feel it.
Okay.
But I think it's just it's going to take some time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to go over the scans. Yeah. We're going to go over the scans. Just to remind you, it's the trend that's important. We're scanning on a weekly basis, which means there's going to be fluctuations based on what you ate, what you drank, the weather, right? This was a recent realization for us was, oh, the weather is actually affecting our water balance inside the body. It's cold, hot. The body is going to change. How much you drink is affected by the weather, right? It's cold, so we're not drinking as much water, right? And that's obviously going to affect our water inside our body. So with all those factors, we have to look at the trend, not the week to week or even day to day. We have to look at the overall what's happening. As long as that trend is still going the correct direction, the direction you want for your goals, we don't have to worry about it, even if there's a little ups and downs. Make sense? Now, in terms of strength in the gym, you should be getting stronger, period. You're at the beginning of your training. You should be getting nothing but stronger because of all the adaptations that happen in the beginning of training. So if you're not getting stronger in your workouts, meaning your lifts are not getting heavier, not, oh, this still feels hard, because it's never going to stop feeling hard. But like your lifts are legitimately not getting heavier, like you deadlift 6 months ago, the same that you're deadlifting now, then we do need to look at what's going on, because that shouldn't be happening to you yet. Maybe after you've been training for 5 years, we would see it slow down, but you're in the first year. So, and of course that can come from not eating enough food, not getting enough sleep. All of that is going to affect your strength. So yes, if that is legitimately happening based on your numbers and your outputs, we need to talk and figure that out. Yeah, because you should be getting stronger. Okay, good. Anything else? Nope. Great. We're going to go over your InBodies really quick here. Go ahead and open your scans. I just want to make sure you guys are like in tune with what all these numbers mean on your scans. You guys know skeletal muscle mass is the tissue that moves your skeleton. Yeah? So what muscles is not included in skeletal muscle mass? Pop quiz. Correct. What else? Diaphragm. Yeah. The lungs aren't the muscle, but the diaphragm is, right? Good. I don't know any others that aren't. Your tongue? Yeah, it doesn't move a skeleton piece. Yeah? Okay. So skeletal muscle mass is the things you can touch, the things that are all around your bones, moving your bones. Cool? Okay. Body fat mass. That's fat everywhere. This is going to include the fat that's deposited in your organs, like around your liver, in your liver, on your legs, on your butt, on your boobs, everything, right? That's body fat mass. Cool? Any questions on that? And it's measured in pounds. We're looking at how many pounds of fat is in the body. Okay? And then we've got body fat percentage. You guys tracking with that? You see it on your scans? Okay. Body fat percentage is how much fat is in the body compared to the overall whole. So if the overall whole is 100 pounds and you have 50 pounds of fat, how much is your body fat percentage? You can do it. Yeah, 50%, right? If the whole is 100 and you have 50 pounds of fat, that's 50% of the whole is body fat. Okay, what happens if your whole is 200 and you have 50 pounds of fat? Same amount of fat, but the whole is bigger. 25%. Your body fat percentage went down even though you didn't lose any fat. That's why when you gain muscle mass, your body fat percentage goes down whether you lost fat or not. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's a factor that looks at both your muscle gain and your fat loss at the same time. Cool? Okay. Visceral fat. Visceral fat. What is this? Yeah, belly fat. How does it get there? Huh? Extra eating. Yeah, and stress. Yeah, there's a lot of the stress is a big one. Any stress is a big one. So anything that causes stress for the body, and that could be emotional stress or physical stress, like drugs and alcohol creates physical stress, and so the body then responds by cortisol, which then shuttles it over to your midsection. Cool. So that's a big one. This is the one that gets us into health problems, right? So in our, does everyone understand that, the visceral fat? Cool. So in our scans, this is represented as a level, right? Level 20, level 30, level 5, level 10. You guys seeing that in your scans? The level represents a volume number. Okay. Will you get my box? Oh, you got my box? Okay. So the level represents a volume number. If you are level 20, it means you have 200 cubic centimeters of visceral fat. Okay. If you are level 10, it means you are 100 cubic centimeters of visceral fat. You guys tracking? If you just cut off the ones place, it puts you at a level. So it's a bit of a generalization there in your scans. Okay. So what is 385 cubic centimeters represented as in a level? 38. That's right. Okay. This, huh? No, not until you hit 39, right? Or 390. Then it would show up as 39. Does that make sense? So that's why there's a delay in the visceral fat. It'll say like 15, 15, 15, 14. 14, 14, 14, 13. Because it doesn't mean it's not moving. It just means it hasn't moved a whole 10 value of 10. Tracking? Okay. This right here is about 1 cubic centimeter. So if you are represented there as 38, means you have 380 of these in your belly. Make sense? If it says 10, it means you have 100 of these in your belly. Cool? Is that tracking? Yeah? That's about a cubic centimeter. It's a little bigger than a cubic centimeter. Less than 10, so less than 100 cubic centimeters. We need to be under 100. Cool? Okay, there we go. That's visceral fat. All right, total body water. So this is the total amount of water in the body inside the cells and outside the cells. Okay, so if you think of your body as a bucket, and the bucket has water in it, and then there's also balloons in the water. Yeah? Birthday parties, flashbacks. Yeah? So there's water in the balloons, but there's also water outside of the balloons, but it's all in the bucket. Your body's the bucket, the balloons are the cells. When there's more water in the cells or out of the cells, just overall, right, that would go up, your total body water. Making sense? Cool. Then you have the in the cells and out of the cells, right? You guys all have this on your scan. In the cells is represented as intracellular. You guys can look at it if you want on your scans there. The intracellular is the water that's in the balloons. Does that make sense? The extracellular is the water in the bucket, but not in the balloon. If you eat Chinese food the next day, you have more water pulled out of the balloons and into the bucket, and you can like feel it on your ankles. Yeah? Does that make sense? Cool. When you exercise, it helps pull water from the bucket into the balloons, because now there's demand for that water to get pulled into the cells. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, I hate saying this, it's fluid, guys. It's in and out. One meal will change it. One workout will change it. This is shifting back and forth all the time. Okay. One little jog to the end of the block and back is going to shift where that water's sitting, depending on the demands. Making sense? So this is not about your health. This is about your scans. Okay. If that water shifts and is way different than what it was when you scanned the last time, we can't compare the two scans. That's why there's that ECW. That's a ratio between how much water's in the balloons and how much water's in the bucket. And if that ratio is really different scan to scan, we can't compare the two because they are not comparable. Make sense? The water is too different to compare. ECW stands for extracellular water, and it's a ratio of where the water is sitting, in or out of the balloons. Making sense? Cool. Do you guys have any questions on that?
How to get rid of it?
Get rid of what?
This intracellular water.
You can't. You're made up primarily of water.
So that means it's normal if it's even above the average.
Yeah. Yeah, totally normal. This is not a health metric. You are going to have water in your cells and out of your cells. If you don't, you die.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't get rid of it.
That's why probably I have a roller coaster in my body.
What was that?
It's very up and down.
His is? Yeah. So we can look at why that's happening. Carbohydrate intake is a big deal. If you eat lots of carbs, the water then is attracted to that and it sticks, and then so you have more water in the body. If you eat way less carbs, the water whoosh goes way down because there's nothing for the water to stick to in the body. So if you're doing like lots of carbs, no carbs, lots of carbs, no carbs, like that's going to make the water shift back and forth. If you are having a very stable nutrition, then this should become stable, unless you're a girl, at which point it won't be stable. You're not a girl, so.
Okay.
Lucky.
You don't have that.
Yeah. But it's probably more to do, I would guess, your nutrition is ups and downs in your nutrition. Yeah. That's causing the ups and downs in your water. Okay. He's like, that adds up.
I know it's funny how during these talks it's like, yeah, that's where I went wrong. That's why I went up.
Yeah, good. Any questions on your in-body scans? No? Okay. Good. You guys don't need to see this. Okay, I just want to remind you of the goals of what we're doing is to preserve your muscle mass, ditch the body fat, right? But also to put you in a situation where you can develop your own tools for getting through the struggles, right? You've got the world on one hand, your world, the people around you pushing you in one direction while you're trying to go in another direction. That creates a problem. by solving these problems, like going to your vegan family get together, your drunk vegan family get together, right? Like that's a problem. It poses some kind of, I'm going to go and I'm going to eat with my family, and yet they're vegan and drinking, right? Or someone bringing you a plate of whatever, right? Like these are problems because like they want you to eat this, they want you to drink this, but you don't want to. So that's the problem. But by you solving those problems, that's where we get really good at this. That's where you figure out how to do this for the rest of your life. Make sense? I love what you said earlier about, Mom, I'm not on a diet. This is how I'm eating, right? Because that mindset, that view of what you're doing is what's going to create the sustainable lifelong change. If it's like, Mom, I'll just offer it to me next week, then we didn't do anything. We didn't build anything, right? So well done on running into these situations, identifying them as that problem, and you solving them is where we make these big leaps, right? Okay, coworker brings me plate. What do I do? You've got a solution now. You've got it planned out. Thank you very much. I don't eat that. What? Yeah, I don't. Okay, fine. They feel uncomfortable and awkward. That's their problem. Making sense? Okay. And then this is what we were talking about, like the 80-20 rule, right? So when you do this 100% of the time, you have a plan, you have your food, you know what you're doing, you know how to solve the problems that come in life, you can go off plan. You can go outside the box, right? It's safer to go outside the box the more metabolically healthy you are, because your body can deal with it. It can metabolize that extra energy. It can metabolize the extra sugar intake. When we're not metabolically healthy, it's a little bit more dangerous, right? For example, if you are full-blown uncontrolled diabetic and you go outside the box, it could risk your life, right? But if you're metabolically healthy with 100 pounds of muscle mass that can metabolize that extra sugar, you're going to be okay, right? So, and then there's various degrees of that, right? We're not full-blown uncontrolled diabetes, and none of us, like that guy over there, has 100 pounds of muscle mass ready to burn up any extra glucose, right? So there's degrees. When we get to a healthy spot in our metabolism, the 80-20 rule, the like, okay, whatever, I'll have some weird bread thing, delicious bread thing that my mom made, is not a big deal. You can totally partake and not be off plan and not sidetrack yourself and that sort of thing. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on that? No? Cool. Okay. This is a reminder of the theory of the quick cut. You're eating things that are productive for your health, and you're not eating things that aren't productive for your health. If you only consume the things productive for your health, the things that add to your health outcomes, and the things that add to your muscle production and maintenance, and nothing else, you lose body fat, you gain or maintain muscle mass, and you're fine. And you get metabolically healthier step by step. Cool? Okay. Yeah.
So right now it's popular to be like a vegan or whatever who, and they like the best source of the protein. That's what fish meat and fish meat.
Mhm.
But people like if they're not eating fish meat, they're trying to get other sources of the protein.
Yeah.
So does it matter which protein you're receiving or
It does matter where you get your protein for sure. Yeah.
and for example, if I'm using this like supplements, protein supplements, does it make sense to use these supplements or
Instead of what?
No, I mean, for example, I'm feeling that's like, okay, I'm eating meat, I'm eating fish, but I don't know did I get enough and all, and I'm like, okay, I will just drink a couple of things.
So how much protein do you get from your fish and your meat? Okay, so that's what you need to find out, right? This was week 2 of the quick cut, is you need to know how much protein you need, and you need to know that you're getting that much, right? That's a really important part of this program. So when you say, is my supplement okay? Well, 1, I'd have to look at it. And 2, I would ask you, why don't you just eat more meat? Because whenever you start to get protein from other sources, it comes with something else, right? Like we get protein cookies now, and you get 15, 20 grams of protein and 50 grams of carbohydrates. So was that a better choice than a piece of meat? No, because you're trying to get protein, not carbohydrates. Does that make sense? Apparently I smell great because this fly is all about me. Yeah. So it's not a should I supplement or shouldn't I supplement. First we have to find out how much protein are you getting from your meat, right? If it's enough, you don't need a supplement. Make sense? And then I'd have to look at what your supplement is. What is it contained? Like what's in it? I don't expect you to know the label by heart.
I will take a
Yeah.
couple pictures in the store, which I'm thinking about buying that.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But we should calculate how much protein you're consuming because that's really important part of this, right? 0.7 grams of protein per pound is our minimum. You should be hitting that every day. Is everybody doing that? Is yours sliding out? Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm hitting the protein.
Okay.
I don't know how much I'm hitting.
Well, you can't know unless you know, right?
I can assume, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hitting the minimums, but I don't know for how much.
Okay. Tracking.
Okay.
Good. Well, let's do that. Let's do a log, figure out how much protein. Okay. You guys tracking with this? Fantastic. Okay. So we have 1 minute to cover the rest of my talk. Guys, I'm actually just going to have you take this home. So Josh, let's hand this out to you. Some of you guys have done this. This is a really cool exercise where we look at if you want to have a metabolically healthy body. Yeah? Everybody there? You want to have a certain body that can handle certain activities, certain foods, certain type of lifestyle, right? Everyone wants to have that. Correct? Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Cool. So there are certain things you're going to have to do to have that. Making sense? So first you figure out, well, what kind of body do I want to have, right? What am I looking for this thing to be able to do with the rest of my life? Yeah? Then you go, well, what do I got to do? What do I have to do to accomplish that, to see this change into that and morph into that? Yeah? Those doingnesses are going to include things like exercise and not drinking alcohol and going to bed on time and, cutting somebody out of your life because they're no good, right? And they're just causing tons of stress. That's things you might have to do in order to have the body you want. Does that make sense? Good. Now, the one that we always forget is who you have to be. You got to be that person at that party. You know what I mean? You're that person. You know what I'm talking about. You're like, yeah, I don't eat that. You're the person, right? You don't fit in. You have to be the person who doesn't fit in. You have to be the person who violates what culture's doing, right? Oh, vegan's really popular. Well, you're that guy who's not vegan, right? You're that guy who doesn't take supplements. You're that girl who doesn't partake in the potluck of bologna, right? Of cakes and cookies. And you're that girl who shows up to the cookie exchange and doesn't eat any cookies, weirdo. You're that person. You got to figure out who you have to be to do the things you need to do to have the body you want to have. So this is a really cool exercise. If you haven't done it yet, fill this out. Take your time. Work yourself from have to do to be. Make sense? Okay. Do you guys have any questions? No? Okay. If you need any help with the exercise, because normally we would do this like together, just text me. I'll help you. We can talk about it on the phone. Cool. Thank you guys. Have a good workout. Or you can even talk to me now if you're not working out.